Hi everyone, Denise Coughlan here, owner of Resolute Pilates and Wellness Studios, and I'm coming back to you this week with a video from a seated position. And with Pilates, we also add in a little bit of weight work as well, so it increases the resistance that we do when we're doing the movements. So if you can pause this video if you have some hand weights, brilliant. But if you don't have any hand weights, just maybe grab yourself 2 evenly sized bottles of water, so they're filled with the same amount of water, so you don't have one higher volume than the other side, so we want to keep them balanced. And you could also use a tin of peas, something like that, one for each hand, and again the same weight on each side. So as with all the other previous videos, just make sure that if you have any injuries, illnesses, any conditions that might affect you doing exercise at home, make sure you get your medical clearance first before you take part in the exercises. So we'll leave your weights to the side, and as I said, we're going to do these from seated position. So we're going to make sure that you're seated comfortably into your chair with your back seated against the back of the chair, feet underneath the knees, knees in line with the hips, and you can rest your hands to the front or to the sides of the legs, any way that feels comfortable for you to sit. We want to visualize the belly button ever so gently drawn towards the back of the chair or to the back of the spine. Very gentle connection. And we're going to start your breathing. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. As you inhale, visualize the rib cage expanding, and as you exhale, visualize the rib cage contracting. So we're breathing sideways, lateral thoracic breathing. Shoulders relaxed, away from the ears, and then resting the head in line with the spine. So you want to imagine like you have a book resting on top of the head, so we keep the head in that neutral position. And we're going to stay with the breath, inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. So very gentle warm up. We're going to start off with your head nod. So we're going to inhale, look down, lengthening into the back of the neck, and then exhale, looking straight ahead of you. Inhale and exhale. Okay, so we want to make sure that we keep that upright posture, and we're just using the vertebrae in the cervical spine, the top part of the spine into the neck. Okay, one more time. And then coming back to center, we're going to rotate, looking over your shoulder, and coming back to center, and the opposite side. So rotations. Keeping that nice lengthened spine, upright posture. 2 more times. 1 more time. And then coming back to center. Lateral flexion with the ear to the shoulder, and coming back to center again slowly. Exhale and inhale. So we're bringing ear to the shoulder, not shoulder to the ear. Okay, and we want to keep that upright posture. So we're going to add in a little bit of lateral flexion through the spine as well. So we're going to release the arms down towards your sides, and we're going to tilt and reach one hand to the mat or to the floor, and coming back to center. Okay, so if you're reaching over to your right side, make sure your left side of your bum cheek, your pelvis, stays glued to your chair, so you don't feel like you're falling over to one side. Good. Exhale. Inhale. 2 more times. Okay, 1 more time. And coming back to center again slowly. Prayer position with the hands. We're going to go fingertips underneath the chin for spine twist or spinal rotation. So anything from below the waist area or the belly button area is not moving, okay? So we're working thoracic rotation, middle part of the spine. So anything above the middle part of the spine is rotating, but anything below is staying in your neutral position. We're using the fingertips underneath the chin, so we keep the head in line with the spine. Try not to round the shoulders, keep the shoulders open and relaxed. Good. 2 more times. 1 more time. And then into the center slowly, relaxing the arms. Give the shoulders a little bit of a roll. Can be a little bit hard on the shoulders after that one. Shoulder rolls. Inhaling through the nose. Exhaling through the mouth. So nice rotation. Up, back and around. And then we're going to change direction. Circling around. Good. One more time. And then releasing down. So we're going to reach the arms ahead of you for protraction and retraction. So you're going to reach the arms straight ahead of you like you're trying to reach for something, and then draw the shoulders back like as if you're trying to press the shoulders against your chair. Inhale, reach forwards, the shoulders will come off the back of the chair, and then exhale, drawing back. Protraction, retraction in seated position. Keeping that nice lengthened spine, staying with the breath. One more time. And releasing down slowly. A little bit of spinal flexion. So we're going to keep your weight seated into your chair. And we're going to curl the spine forwards, one vertebrae at a time, only going as far as you feel comfortable, and lengthening back up. Stacking the spine back up on top of itself, one vertebrae at a time. Exhale, going down. And inhale, lengthening up. Okay, so we want to keep your weight seated back into the back of your chair, so when you're coming forwards, you don't feel like you're falling forwards. Okay, let's do one more time. And lengthening up slowly. One vertebrae at a time. Okay, well done. So, if you need to pause the video, just pause it and then come back. We're going to grab a hold of those weights. So whether it's hand weights, whether it's water bottles, even weights on each side, cans of peas, peaches, anything that you have in your house. Okay. So what we want to do is to be able to grip whatever you're having, okay? So if you've got something in your hand that is maybe too chunky, too wide, you might find it's a bit difficult to actually get a grip of. So maybe choose something maybe a little bit thinner. So these are nice and thin that we can grip. And they also have the straps. But don't go out trying to find these or buy them, okay? So whatever you have in your house is fine. Okay, so what we're going to start off first of all with is a wrist curl, okay? So wrist curl really helps to strengthen the muscles in the front and the back of the arm here, or isolating that area, and it's going to help to increase the range of movement on the wrist. So I'm actually just going to use one side for this one. Okay, so we're going to just use the weight in one hand, and I'm going to get you to hold onto the hand with the other side, okay? So we're going to hold onto the arm. And what I want you to do is just have a little bit of a gap under there that you can maneuver the wrist. So let the wrist fall down, okay? So the weight is going down towards the leg, and then we're going to curl it back up. Okay? So there's no movement anywhere else on the arm. It's all through the wrist. Okay? So up and down, curling through that wrist. Okay? So we're going to just isolate these muscles here and behind the back of the wrist as well. So the palms of the hands are facing up towards the direction of the ceiling. So we're getting a bit of strength, range of movement, and just staying with the breath. Okay? So nice and slow and controlled. So remember, nothing else is moving. We're just going through that wrist. Okay, one more time. Good. Okay, so we're going to do that on the other side. So we're going to change the weight over to the other side. Take a hold of the back of the arm with the other hand, and we're just going to try and curl through that wrist. Okay, so we're not bending and stretching the arm. That's a bicep curl. We'll be doing that in a while. We're curling through the wrist. Okay, so a little bit of range of movement into the wrist area. Okay, so especially if you're using the hands quite a bit, it really helps to strengthen that area and reduce any risk of injury. So if you are working through a wrist injury, remember, as with all of the other movements, that you don't do anything that you feel uncomfortable with. Okay, let's do 2 more times. 1 more time. Okay, so that previous one, that last one there, the effort of the lift was coming with the palm facing upwards. So we're going to try that with the palm facing down, okay? So it's going to emphasize a little bit more across here on the arm. So again, holding onto the arm, we're going to try and lift up and then tap down. Okay? So this time the palm of the hand is facing downwards. And we're just using the other hand just to give a little bit of support on that side. What you could do if you find that a little bit kind of uncomfortable is to use like a cushion or a pillow under here, so it gives you a little bit of height that you can maneuver a little bit more on this. Okay, let's do 2 more times. 1 more time, and releasing down. So they're quite challenging, and we're going to do that on the other side, okay? So holding onto your weight, whatever you have in your hand, holding onto the arm, and we're just going to curl up and down. So the palm of the hand is facing down towards the leg, and we want to stay with that breath. Okay, so we do use a lot of weights and bands and what we call Pilates rings and soft balls, weighted balls, stability balls, loads of different types of equipment in Pilates classes. So you might kind of think some of them look very like toning classes. It's very similar, but the technique then is a little bit more controlled, more technique driven. Okay, 1 more time. Good. And release down slowly. So we're going to let the weights just come down to the sides, whatever way you're holding onto them, on each side. And we're going to take the shoulders to elevation and depression. Okay, so we would have done these before in the warm-up. But when we add the weight into them, it just becomes a different type of movement. So a little bit more work through those muscle groups in order to perform that movement, to create the lift. Okay, so the palms of the hands are facing in towards the body, in towards the chair. Good. Okay, 1 more time. And releasing down slowly. So like as if you're walking on the spot, we're going to take one arm forwards and one arm back, okay? So if you're finding that the arms are hitting off your chair, you can just do the front part of the movement, or you can sweep the arm a little bit wider, okay? So you can go with a wider stretch to avoid hitting off the chair. But again, you don't want to put anything that's putting pressure on your neck or your shoulders when we're doing this one. Okay, so if you have room, keep them close to the side of your body. Just like soldier arms or scissor switching the arms. And keep the shoulders relaxed away from the ears. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. So try and avoid swinging it, okay? So if you imagine like you're pressing against a heavier resistance, it actually does make the arms work that little bit harder. It will make the weights, whatever you're using, feel that little bit heavier. Okay? And then coming back into the center slowly. So we're going to take the hands with the palms facing up towards the ceiling, gripping whatever you're holding on to. And this is called a waiter stance, okay? So it's like you're holding onto a tray with your hands. So we're going to take the elbows in towards your sides, and we're going to take the weights ahead of you, okay? So again, like you're holding onto a tray, and then open out to the side. So it's a rotator cuff, all coming through that upper back and shoulder area. And again, we want to keep the angle of the arms in that position all the time, so it stays in that same angle. And we want to try and avoid like the elbows coming in and out. So it's a different movement. We want to keep those elbows pressed in towards your sides. Okay? Good. 2 more times. 1 more time. And we're going to add in a little bit of a stretch on this one. Not so much of a feeling like a stretch, but we're stretching the arms away. and then drawing the elbows back in. Push away, and drawing back in again. Okay, you can repeat these sequence of movements without the weights. You don't need to use the weights. It just adds in that extra little bit of a challenge. So we don't go above your shoulder. We're just going out to the side in line with your shoulder. Good. Okay, so the palms of the hands are still facing up towards the ceiling. Okay, one more time. And release it down slowly. And just let them rest every now and then. If you want to rest it more than what I rest, you can. You can just bring it into a little bit of a shoulder circle. Okay, if you want to move the legs around, just move the legs around. Just keep the circulation going around the rest of the body in that position. Okay, I call these my YMCA arms. So it's the M part of the movement. So we're going to take the arms up and just tap overhead. And then take them back down slowly. Okay? And coming back down slowly. Just a soft bend in your elbows. Good. Lengthening through the spine. Keep that gentle connection through the core. So we're going to lift the arms up on the inhale breath. And exhale coming down. Okay? So you might think reverse that breath around, but we're using that breath because we're going to add it into a different movement, okay? So the inhale breath is to the center, but as we exhale, we're going to twist the spine, like as if you're turning to someone behind you, and open the arms into that position. Coming back up to center. Now you don't have to add in the rotation if you don't want to. Okay? Nice and slow and controlled. Okay, and if the edge of the chair is away, just go down as far as you need to, as far as you have that room to maneuver. Should be really feeling those ones. Okay, one more time. Center, and release it down slowly. Good. Give those shoulders a little bit of a roll. Okay, so even with light weights, they do feel really heavy after a while. Okay, so we're going to give those shoulders a little bit of a break for a second. So the shoulders stay resting. We're going to go with the bicep curl. So we'll alternate arms on this one first. So we're going to do one arm up and one arm down. Okay, so you're holding gently onto whatever you're holding onto, your water bottle or your cans, or if you've got weights. And we just let the weight just rest onto your thigh. Movement coming through the elbows, lengthening through the spine. Okay, so we should be feeling this on the front of the arms, the biceps. Nice and slow and controlled. So what we're going to do is we're going to take out the paws and we scissor switch them past each other. Okay, so we've got that range of movement coming through the elbow. So what we're trying to avoid on this one is actually what we did at the start there, where we're curling the wrists. So we don't want to do that when you do the weights, okay? You want to keep a nice strong wrist so the angle of the wrist stays the same. Palms of the hands are facing up towards the ceiling or in towards you. Okay, so we're going to try a double. So 2 arms up on the exhale, 2 arms down on the inhale. Exhale and inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Let's do one more time. And releasing down slowly. Okay, so we're going to take one arm ahead of you this time. We're going to take one arm out in front and we're going to pull it back in between the shoulder blades and stretch it ahead of you. So again, if you've got a chair or something there behind you that's quite high, you just want to get the elbow a little bit more up, but not your shoulder. The palm of the hand is facing in towards your body. Okay, so it's a seated row. It's working on really lengthening, extending the spine. But as you push ahead of you, make sure that you don't lean forwards, okay, or protract your shoulders like what we do in the warm-up. So we're trying to keep that lengthened spine. So working chest as your arms come forwards, And we're working across the back as the arms come back. And still working through those shoulders as well. Okay, one more time on this side. And then coming back down. Okay, let's change sides. Reach the arm ahead of you, palm facing inwards. Pull back through the shoulder and the elbow, stretching ahead of you. Exhale, inhale. Okay, nice lengthened spine. Okay, so doing one arm at a time just helps to make it slightly easier because it does get heavy when you're holding those two arms out ahead of you. Okay, and just remember that you can do these with no weights, just your arm resistance. Okay, so I might have said it before, there's such a, I think we're on week 12. I think if you have a look back on all the previous videos, there's so many different sequences now, you're literally getting full head to toe workout. So do go back and alternate the videos that you do each week. Okay, and then releasing down. Right, so we're going to add that into your spine twist. So if you just want to do the arms on their own, as I said, this one is going to be harder because we're keeping the arms straight ahead of you all the time on one side. But if you want to stay on that one, that's fine. What we're going to try and do is to twist towards the arm that's bending. So we're going to turn into rotation. Spine twist with seated row. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Okay, so remember you don't have to do the twist. Rotating through the center part of the spine. Anything below that, staying steady. Two more times. One more time. And release it down slowly, giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll. Good. Okay, so we're going to do one more and then we're going to take it into a little bit of a stretch and then a little bit of the breathing relaxation. Okay, so I want you to think of pulling upwards this time on each side, lifting like you're lifting a bag of shopping or anything, lifting something off the ground, lifting the weights off the ground. So we're alternating sides. But what we're trying to avoid on this one is to elevate your shoulders. So we don't want to lift the arm and the shoulder. We keep the shoulder down. And we're just lifting through the weight and the elbow. Okay, so it's like an upright row position. Now you can do upright row if you want to start off at a shorter distance, so you don't have to lift as much. Okay, you can do this with the weights just resting down on your thighs or your water bottles. And we're alternating, okay? So you can see the angle of the hands holding onto the weight. And again, we're trying to lift the weight on the elbow, not elevating the shoulder. Okay, so you have different options on that one. One is just slightly harder than the other, so this one will be harder than the previous one. Okay, two more times. One more time, and release it down slowly. So very gently, whatever you're holding on to, we're going to take off to the side and rest it down onto the floor. And take it through those shoulder circles. Well-deserved stretch after those ones. Okay, so you can spend a little bit longer on the sequence, or you can shorten it out if you want to do less. With or without the weights, whatever you feel comfortable with. We're going to change direction. Okay, so we're going to give a little bit of a stretch. It's going to bring one arm, wrap it across you like you're giving yourself a hug, and just hug the other arm in. And what we're trying to do is just to really get the stretch coming into the side of the arm and into the side of the back, and just relax the shoulders away from the ears. Staying with the breath, inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. Okay? And then releasing slowly. So we're going to try that on the other side. So wrap the arm around like you're giving yourself a hug. Wrap the other arm in. And just bring it in as close to the chest as you feel comfortable. Thinking of the stretch coming along the side here and into the arm. Inhaling through the nose. And exhaling through the mouth. Okay? And then we're going to open out through the chest area and the biceps after those bicep curls. So we're going to reach the arms back behind you. Okay, if you've got space, you can interlink the fingers at the back and try and stretch the arms away, but I know that was quite a difficult one, so even just opening out, really trying to extend, lengthen the spine, open out the chest, and reach the arms behind you, okay? The arms don't have to go really high, they're just reaching away from you, and staying with the breath. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. Remember, you can move those legs every now and then, just get the circulation going. But we were focusing on that upper body resistance today. Okay, and release it down. We're going to take one hand to the opposite leg, and we're just going to reach it over, lateral flexion. So there's different ways of doing lateral flexion. You can go overhead to the side, with your arm down by your side, just tilting the head. Okay, so there's a couple of different ways of lateral flexion. And then coming up slowly. So opposite hand to opposite leg on the other side, reach it over, tilting your head in line with your spine. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. Coming to center, releasing down slowly. Let's take it back to shoulder rolls. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. Make sure to change direction as well. And then releasing down to center. So we're going to do a few head rotations. Just rotating through the neck. Nice slow and controlled movements. Okay, let's do 2 more times. 1 more time. And back to center again slowly. Okay, so we're going to finish with that seated breathing. So remember, you can go palms facing up, palms down, arms relaxed, any way that you feel comfortable. Making sure again that you're seated comfortably into your chair, head in line with your spine. And just if you want to keep your eyes open or closed, it's up to you. And we're going to take the awareness to the breath, inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. So we're going to start off at the 5-second breath, working to 10 and 10 back to 5. So we're going to start off with the 5-second count. Breathing in 2, 3, 4, 5, and breathing out 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathing in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathing in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Breathing in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Breathing in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Breathing in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Breathing in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Breathing in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Breathing in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Breathing in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And back to in 2, 3, 4, 5, and out 2, 3, 4, 5. And finding somewhere between 5 and 10 that you feel comfortable to breathe without counting the breath. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. Feeling the difference of the breath, how freer it is to breathe after doing that little cycle of breath. So we're going to do 2 more breaths. And 1 more breath. And if you've had your eyes closed, we're going to open them slowly, bringing the awareness back into the room. And then wiggle fingers, stretch the legs. Anything that just wakens the body back up again. and then bringing it back to center slowly. Well done. Okay, so you're going to feel those ones a day or two after you do the exercises. So just do what you can, do what you feel comfortable with, as with all the previous videos. And as I mentioned before, mix up the videos. So if you want to try something different each day, you can try a couple of the different videos in a different sequence. So I hope you enjoyed them, and I'll be back to you again next week with a new video for you. Chat to you all soon, guys.